Hey everybody, I hope you're having a blessed Sunday since I'll be posting this on Sunday. So I just want to tell y'all something that I heard someone discussing the other day, and I went deep dive into it and look it up for myself and kind of got a little backstory on it. And I want to share that with y'all because I thought it was very interesting and helpful actually to understand some areas of the Bible. So in the Gospels, when y'all read in the Gospels, you will hear Jesus refer to himself a lot as the Son of Man, okay? So there is an area in the Gospels where Simon Peter calls him the Son of the living God. So I want to give the distinguishing of that first. So Son of Man, when you look up the definition, you know, like I told you, it's really good to go look them up in the Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic because they mean so much more. They have so much power behind them. So Son of Man actually means barinash, which means a human being of flesh, right? Just being human. Jesus uses it to refer to himself a lot as man, as a human being throughout the Gospels, okay? So then the part where Simon Peter calls him the Son of the living God, I may butcher this name, sorry. It's Bar Elaha Kaya, something like that. It signifies Jesus's unique relationship with God, highlighting his divine nature and role as the Messiah. So those are two distinctions. So the reason I say all of that is when you're in the Gospels, the part where the Pharisees are questioning Jesus and they're asking him about who he is and things like that, which is actually, let me find the scripture. It is Mark 14:62. They're questioning Jesus about who he is, and he says, I am, and you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming with the clouds of heaven. Okay, so right after that, I don't know if y'all know that scripture, the Pharisees call him blasphemous, and they continue their desire to kill him, and they go through with crucifying him based off of that. And so what I'm gathering through all of this is that Jesus actually said that he is God in there. Okay, so I want to elaborate on how I got to all of that from what the man was telling me. So I gave y'all the definitions of Son of Man and Son of the living God. So what I want to get into is there is a chapter in Daniel in the Old Testament. It is chapter 7 verse 13 and 14. Okay, I'm gonna read it to y'all because you're gonna see where that verse I just read that Jesus actually states is from Daniel. And it says, I saw in the night visions, and behold, with the clouds of heaven there came one like a son of man, and he came to the Ancient of Days and was presented before him. And to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom one that shall not be destroyed. So when Jesus said to them that he is the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power, coming with the clouds of heaven, he was quoting the scripture in the Torah or the Old Testament from Daniel. So you got to realize the Pharisees and the Jews, they all know that very well. They know it like the back of their hand. They study it. So they knew exactly what Jesus was saying. So in that moment, he was saying that he's the Messiah, that he is God, right? And so that's why they said blasphemy, and they were hell-bent on killing him because they believed that he blasphemed, that he was saying that he was God when he truly wasn't in their eyes. Sorry, not that he is. In their eyes, they felt he wasn't. So I just thought that was a nice little takeaway for y'all to see why the Pharisees got so mad at what he said. And I also want to elaborate and add on is, remember when I told y'all that Simon Peter called him the Son of the living God? So the scripture for that is actually Matthew 16, and I think it's like 13 through 14. And I'm going to paraphrase some of it because I don't have it open in front of me. But Jesus, I don't know if you remember, that was when Jesus' question, he brought them on Roman ground where they can see all the stuff. And I remember they weren't pleased with being there. But it was when Jesus' questioned them, asking them, he says, who do people say the Son of Man is? and he's wanting their take, and they're kind of just saying who they feel that he said. And then he says to them, but who do you say that I am? And that is when Simon Peter had his name changed to Peter, the rock, because he replied, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. So he was showing right there that that he was of divine nature and role of the Messiah. And so the reason I want to add all of that in and add this next part is, when I was digging into all of this, there was a lot of controversy over Jesus calling himself the Son of Man, and that's in the New Testament. But in the Old Testament, in the book of Ezekiel, he calls Ezekiel the prophet Son of Man. So some people are trying to say that they're interchangeable, but when you go and read into it, it is saying that it is that in Ezekiel it is emphasizing his humanity, while in Daniel it suggests a figure of divine authority. Okay, and so let's see, I thought I added something else onto there. Oh, so when in the Old Testament, when God would say Son of Man talking to Ezekiel, Ezekiel was one of his prophets. And it said in here that that was a way of God to address his prophet, highlighting his role as a human representative of God's message. Okay, so the difference between them being Son of Man and the Son of Man is, in Ezekiel, you're seeing the fleshly part, the man, the messenger. But when you see in Jesus calling himself the Son of Man, he is showing his divinity in there, y'all. So I just thought this was really interesting and a good way of helping understand when you see the Son of Man, because sometimes it's kind of confusing when you're looking at it, especially knowing in the Old Testament they say it as well. So I really hope that this helps somebody, and that you go dig into those scriptures and look this up for yourself. Again, not taking my word, just like I didn't take his, I went dig and investigate for myself. So I will give you back the scriptures that I got it from. It is Mark 14:62, Daniel 7:13 through 14, and Matthew 16:13 through 14. So I hope y'all enjoyed that little nugget of information, because I sure did. And y'all have a blessed Sunday. Bye. Till next time.